Please wait for 2 or 3 minutes. When all are joining, then we can start. Please wait for 1 or 2 minutes. We can start 8:10 because all are joining. If anyone have any question, you can write here. I will try to answer. Okay, so we can start today. So this is we can continue this playlist and in which total 8 videos completed and today's ninth video related to a onion architecture. So it's almost completed. So we can start today. So anyone have any question, you can message me here. Okay. So in the last class, we can implement CRUD operation with the help of onion architecture. So this is also a design pattern. And here we can try to use all the onion architecture. We can implement here dependency injection and solid principle and loosely couple. All the things are loosely coupled. So we can make here separate layer for the services. So here we can make our interface and service. So anytime when we are creating, for now this is for the testing or just learning purpose, we are creating this project, but we can make structure like, for example, if you're working any project, so same pattern we can follow here. First step is we can create a interface here, in the service. So all the interfaces will be here, and your service also here. DTOs, we can make a different class library for the DTO, request and response. Same for data, where we can add all the business logic, or not a business logic, data related, all the things we can add here. And this is our main application where we have only controller, nothing we can add, only the connection string or program.cs. So we can add here our connection string, register our connection string, and here we can add our connection string. Is it clear? Anyone have any doubt here related to onion architecture, like why we implement related to this? Yeah, we already cover these also a design pattern, and here we also follow a command and query architecture. So here we can give the command and all the query will be written here. So this is also called a command and query. And here we can do dependency injection. So I already write here dependency injection. So it's a very important question in a .NET interview. What is a dependency injection? So dependency injection means rather than writing all the code in same controller, we can call from outside. So same thing you can see here. We can also do here abstraction. We can hide the internal details. So here we are just injecting our interface here, not and hide the implementation, because in the interface we are just declare the method, not give any definition. And all the definition we can, or business logic we can write here in our product service, or and these things we can hide with the help of interface. So also we can achieve here abstraction, hiding the internal details. The same thing, rather than writing directly application DB context, here we can inject interface, and we are just calling the method that we can define in the interface. So we are just calling first method. I don't want any parameters, so I just call the method here, get all. In the second, I want to pass ID in the parameter. So same thing I can do here. I can pass the ID here. Third, we need to pass the DTO model, or here also project request model, and here we need to pass the ID. So is it clear? Anyone have any doubt here related to this? Okay, thank you. My voice is audible now. Please give me answer in yes or no. Okay. Okay, thank you. So we already completed this. Now we are creating here get all method, get by ID. So here we are just calling this method, and you can see if I go to definition, so our this is our definition, and if you go to implementation, so these business logic we can do here. So this is the feature of solid principle. We can easily extend if you want anything add here, so we can easily extend, or easy to test and easy to maintain. And here it's also provide a loosely coupled, things are not totally dependent to each other, it's a independently it will be work. So solid principle also have provide us loosely coupled, not tightly coupled. So next, so firstly, we can make a two method, that there we can use get method. So we can use HTTP get, and for when we are adding anything, that time we can use the HTTP post. So same thing we can do here, only to left, update or delete. So you can create it here. And here we can follow asynchronous programming. So that's why every time we can use async and await. So here we can use async, and here we can use await. Same thing we can use here task. Task means group of threads. And here also we can use async when we are getting anything in from the database. That time we can use await. And when we are adding a, for example, here we are finding the id, here we are finding the list, we are getting the list. And when we are adding anything in the database, that time same we can use await. So here also we can pass the update DTO here, and we can, if project is equal to null, that we can return this mirror, otherwise return off. So next question, next will be actually put we are using when we are updating any method. Next will be HTTP delete. So here we need to pass any ID. You can see here we in the parameter I want ID, so I can pass here ID. It's the same architecture that we can follow in, like, all the logic will be same, and we are just change the architecture. And it's also called a command and query architecture. So here we can command, give the command, and its query will be written here. If you go to implement it, this is the query that are fetching the data from the database. So business logic we can write here, so we can achieve encapsulation here. You can see how wrapping data and method together here in the all the business logic we can put together in a product service. And we can achieve abstraction with the help of interface, hiding the internet trail. So here we are just calling these method, and we are hiding what we can do. All the business logic we can hide from the controller. So so this is the delete method. So all the things will be done. Anyone have any question here? Okay. Okay, all the things will be done. Our next or last step and very important step, that is we need to register here our dependency with the help of, if we not added here, we are not able to hit the method, or we are not able to add anything in the database. So we need to add here with the help of builder dot services dot add scope, and we need to pass this. And here also we are using automapper, but I think we are doing here. Okay, we are using automapper here. So here also we need to add automapper. So we need to register here. Only we need to register AutoMapper when we are using onion architecture, because our DTOs are another class library. So they are the another class library. So this is the clean architecture we can follow if our application will be large or multiple DTOs, multiple interface on service. So that time it's very easy. So it's only based on your requirement, like how big your project. So based on your requirement, you can choose the architecture or pattern, which pattern you need to follow. So we can run this. Anyone have any question here? How to set? I already uploaded like 6 to 7 videos. You can watch the video and understand the basic structure. I can start from very basic so you can easily understand. Okay, so we will try to implement the validation. You can simply, if you want, you can simply add the definition validation here in the, like, you need to add before we are adding. For example, if you want a name required, so you can add the parameter required. Like that way you can able to add the validation. If you want the string length, so here you can add in the parameter, or not a parameter, in the attribute you can define here which validation you can want. And next, for example, if you want to make a one-to-one relationship, one to many, so that things you need to define here in the application DB context. So here you can add the validate. Here also you can able to add the validation. Like if you want anything unique, or email in a proper format, so all the validation, or you want to make a relationship between table like user and student, employee, and uh, you like one to one. There are three types of relationships. One to one, we will cover in the next incoming class. One to many and many to many relationship. For example, one product have a multiple order and many to many relationship. So yeah, it's for example, a product have a multiple order related to multiple products. Like that way, you can take many to many relationships. So we can able to add the validation. You can simply add directly here, or if you want to add a relationships, so that we need to add here in the DB context inside the model builder. Okay, so here we can try to add anything here. Next thing, today we can start JWT token. That is also very important. Scripted. Let's check get by get all. It's only executed if we can register this in program.cs file. If you are not registered the dependency, that time we are not able to get this. Next, get by ID. Is it clear? Anyone have any question? You can message me here. I will try to give the answer. So it's all are working. Example, we can pass the ID. So it's updated. Next thing is, for example, we are deleting. So it will give the response true and false, because we can pass the response type in a true or false. So this user deleted, we are not passing anything. Return, okay. Simply we can pass a return, okay. So is it clear? Onion architecture, it's a very simple and it's a very important multiple projects, like higher level projects. We can follow onion architecture. Is it clear? Anyone have any doubt? So we can start the next project. Anyone have any doubt or question? You can message me here. Is it clear? So you can message me yes or no. We can start the next project. Okay. So next, what we can do, we can implement JWT token based authentication. So it's a very important JWT. So it's a like token based authentication where you can authorize the uh, user after he will log in with the help of valid username and password. So all the step will be, firstly I will request you, you can watch all the video I want to see like sequence wise, because I can maintain like that way. If you can do like that way, you can easily implement next, because we can all the fundamental will be same. We can just add a little bit advanced things, but all the basic will be same. So firstly try to clear all your basic. If your basic fundamental, like you have a knowledge, firstly you have to knowledge why we use a program. If you don't have a knowledge program.cs, why we add a application, because I can get a, I think message related to connection string. They are getting uh, error related to connection string. So how we can fix our connection string error? So you can check here. So you are not like fully follow me here. For example, in your server we have a different connection. So you need to go here, SQL Management Studio, and click here open. So you need to check here. So you can see here, I am not on any authentication. I am not giving any username and password. So that's why it's disabled. But in your system, it's enabled. So here you also need to add your username and password. So it's I think that time fix when we are installing SQL Server. So I can copy all the things from here. So in your system, it will be different. So you need to copy from here server name. For example, here I am passing localhost. So in your system, it will be different. So you need to check from here, not directly copy paste these things. If you are directly copy paste, so you are getting error here. Next thing is, if you are give any another name, for example, I can add any another. So that time as your, so that same thing we need to add in our sorry, app setting here. For example, if you're passing here username and password, so that time you need also need to pass here username and password. If you're getting any error, you can take a screenshot and put in the chat GPT. You can easily get what is the connection string, but not fully copy this connection string. If you are fully copy, so you are getting error related to connectivity. So only one way to fix, you are getting your connection string from here. Which server name you can give here, you can give a password or username, so you can copy from here. If you are not able to, so you can take a screenshot and put in the chat GPT and write please give me the like give me the connection string for this server. So you can easily get, and you can put that connection string here, not this. Okay, is it clear? Okay, next thing is we are implement JW token. So all the step will be same, nothing will be changed. A little bit advanced things we can add here related to JW token. So firstly, you have to idea, you have to knowledge related to JW token. What is a JW token and why we use JW token? So whenever, for example, here we are creating this controller. So I want like here only able to add if you have a role. I can authorize if you have a role admin. So like role based authorization, to implement role based authentication, we can use the JW token. So when user will be login with the help of valid username and password, after that we can create the token and we can save that token in the our API header. And if you are not login with the username and password, you are not able to hit this method. For example, if I run this API, so we are not able to add here anything, because here we can add this role based authentication. If you have a role admin, then you are able to access this. So same thing we can implement. Or for example, you can take example. You are make any website and you want this for example admin part only able to see if you have a admin role, if you have a employee role, so you can see here. So like that way, role based authentication or authorization or authentication, we can use JWT token. We have a multiple important question related to JWT token. For example, first thing will be, what is a JWT token? सो JWT टोकन क्या है? एक जेसन वेब टोकन है जो हर टाइम एक यूनिक टोकन क्रिएट करता है हमारी वैलिडिटी को चेक करने के लिए. नेक्स्ट थिंग इज like first important next important question is what is the authentication authorization. So it's a very confusing and so I will write here. So it's a very important first thing. If you can see here, write the identity. Identity means you are checking user with the help of valid username and password. Authorize matlab like what authority you have, like which roles you can assess, which APIs you can you what authority you have. So in the first authentication means who are you are. So we can authenticate with the help of valid username and password. For example, you can pass the email or any username you can pass. Or what next thing is authorization. What can you assess? But it means which where you have a assess. Admin can delete the user, employee can view the data, student can see the marks. So this is the authorization. So same thing we can implement here. So is it clear what is the difference between authentication and authorization? So it's a very important question because it's a little bit same and confusing question in .NET interview. Is it clear? So this is the example security guards. For example, in any gate, you can check with the help of valid ID or password. Or authority means you are entering which rooms you have access. Okay. Okay. So we can start create a new project here. So same thing we can choose ASP.NET for Web API. Click on the next button. And for example, I can choose same location here. So here, anyone have any question here? Okay, so here we can follow all the step will be same. So our what is the our first step? First step will be same. We need to install three package. After that, we need to add the connection string and we need to register that connection string in program.c. So all the basics will be same. So firstly, you can clear all the fundamentals. So you can watch the first or second video where I can make it very simple. So for, it's a very important question. If you have any .NET interview and you are not able to answer why we use the app setting.json file, so it's very rare chance you will select that interview like if you don't have a knowledge, so you can see here I just created this project. I am doing I can do nothing here. So you have to knowledge why we use the app setting. So here we can add all our connection string or all the configuration related work we can do here. And program.cs where we can register our dependency injection, our application DB context. We can add a middleware. This is also middleware. And you can also add the custom middleware. We implement role-based authentication. So that also we need to register here with the help. So all the things we need to add here in the program.cs file. So this is the fundamental. So firstly, you can clear all the fundamental, then you can go to the next level. Because in every project, basic will be same, little bit advanced things we can add, but all the basic things will be same here. Hi, good morning. Anyone have any question here? You can message me here. Okay, so our step will be same. First step, we need to install three packages. Go to Tools, Nugget Package Manager, and then go here, Manage Nugget. So first thing is, and very important question, what is the anti-framework core? So anti-framework core is a bridge between your application and database. You can communicate with the help of C# objects instead of writing raw SQL queries. So that's why we need to install this package EF core anti-framework core. So it's a very good feature in .NET Core because before that we can write a raw SQL queries. That is very difficult to manage here. Okay, so anti-framework core, yes, it's a object relation mapper here. So I can install this, and here I will use .NET 8.0 version, but this is not a latest version. Latest version will be 10. So this is also important question in our interview. What is the latest version of .NET Core? So that is 10. For now, we are using this because here, like all the things Swagger pre-built in the latest project 9 and 10, you need to install this package by yourself, Swagger, and you need to register here Swagger configuration you need to do here. So this is pre-built in .NET but not in the latest version. So that's why I am choosing this version. So firstly, we can install this package anti-framework core, and I can choose here 9.0 this version and click on the install. The next we can use which database we are using. For now, we are using SQL, so we can choose here SQL Server. So which database we are using? Microsoft SQL Server database we are using. So that's why we can choose same version, and same version we can choose here. Because if you can change the version, sometime it will be giving the error related to version mismatch. So that's why we are choosing this. It's not fixed. You can choose this one. You can choose any another version, but that will be not a mismatch error. Next thing is tools. It's a also important question why we use tools. Tools we are using when we want to add migration and to run these command, enable these commands, add migration, random migration, drop database. So all these things we can get with the help of tools. So that's why we need to install this package Microsoft Anti Framework Core dot tools. So is it clear? Anyone have any doubt? You can message here. Okay, so we can install here three packages. So this is the basic step, nothing we can change here. Next step is we can add the connection string. So connection string, for example, any name you can give here. It's not fixed. You can give this name. I can give any name. It's not fixed. You can give, for example, I can give the DV. So here, what we can get server name. So I can't give any random name here. I can get from here. So same you can do here. You can go your SQL server and check what is your server name. You are just copy from here, and you can only upload. Okay, I will try to upload daily. Local host database, you can give any name, it's not fixed to give any name. Next thing is, if you enable this user, if your system have a username and password enabled, so that time you also need to add here. So if you are getting any error related to connectivity, so it means you are have a wrong SQL server. Or next thing is, you are get anything mistake you can do here, naming, for example, any spelling mistake you can do. For example, when you are update database, that time you are getting that error. So if you do any mistake here, so that time you can get the error, or you are not registered here in the program.csc, so that time also you are getting error. So these things you need to do to fix, because I think I am getting uh, multiple comment related to like they are able to implement but not getting this error. So you can try to fix like that way, because every system have a different connection string. So you need to change your connection string, and you need to just check here all the things will be say proper, and also register your DB contacts here. So after this you are able to update the database. So do these fixes, then you are able to access this. So here we are not need to add these things. We are just add only four things we need to add: server, database, if you have a username and password. So that time you can pass the username and password. For now, I don't, and I disable these things. So I need only integrated this security. This for the secure connection is equal to true. Trust server certificate is equal to true. Only these four work keyword we need to: server, database, any name you can give, integrated security is equal to true, trust server certificate, trusted connection we can create it here. So these things we can add it here. So this is the same, nothing will be like same thing we can do in our first project, same thing we are doing here. So nothing will be changed. And why we use the app setting.json file? This is file here we can add our all the connection string configuration related. For example, you can implement a Azure, your Azure blob storage, or you are using JWT tokens related to JWT key, expire, issue, or audience. So that all the detail we can add here, that we can do practically. So this is very important question, why we use the app setting. So here we can add all the configuration related work we can do here. So is it clear? Anyone have any doubt related to basic concept? Is it clear all the basics? Or you have any doubt, you can message, because basic is very important. If your basic is not clear, you are not able to understand this code. Anyone have any doubt, you can message me here. If you not have any question, you can message me yes or no. Okay. Okay, so all the things will be same. Next thing will be, we need to register this in the program. So before that, we need to create here any table. For example, any table we can create here where implement JWT token. So I can create a table related to user. So firstly, we can register the user. So in the registered user, we are doing nothing. All the code will be same. We are adding a new user in the database. So we can give the name register. Firstly, we can create the user. So we also want to implement role-based authentication. So I also take your role. Firstly, I can take ID as a primary key and ID. Next thing, for example, I can create a username and I will validate here. I can validation, it will be required. If you are not passed, so you are getting error here. Next thing is we can pass here string password, or next thing is I will add here public string role. Next thing is I can add here public string username, string name. So what we can do, firstly we can register the user with the help of valid username and password, and these things we can save in the uh, database. We can make a register method. Next thing is we can make a login method where you can log in with the help of username and password. So when you can log in with the help of username and password, after that we can generate the token. So what is a token? Our token is divided into three parts. So token, JWT token is divided into three parts. First is header, second is payload, and thing is signature. In the header, we are add here, and it's a separated by dot. So if you can see here, JWT token. So in the header, we are saving which algorithm we are using. For example, we are using JSON Web Token with SH256. So here we can say which algorithm we are using. For algorithm means that create the token in unique. So every time token will be not duplicate. So every time your token will be unique. In the payload, we can save the user information, what claim. For example, we are created token, so inside the token, we can save the user information. For example, user ID, it's your choice which claims you want to save inside the payload. For example, you can save the role, name, ID. In the signature, it will be, we can add the secret key. So it will create a unique R for all the things in the, we can add in the signature in the, so it's a divided by. So it's a JSON Web Token, secure authentication or authorization between the client and server. So JSON is divided into three parts. And the next important question, how separated it by? So it's separated by dot. So you can see here, it's separated by dot. Header, payload, and signature. So it will be converted like that way, white code. So no one like inject this code. And in the first, we can add the algorithm or token type. For example, if we add using this 256 and any token, what is the type of the token? Next thing is payload. We can save the user information called claims, like which claims I want to save here. So that I can save inside the payload. And last thing is signature, used to verify token security. Here in the app setting, we can add some configuration related to JW token. So that also we can add here, and we can create here signature created by using header, payload, and secret key. With the help of secret key, we can create it signature. So it will be unique, not anyone can validate. So how it will be work? JWT authentication flow. User login with the help of valid username and password. So server generates a JWT token and client store that token in the API header. In the API header, it's a also important question, how where we can save the token. We can save inside the API header. So client set the token in every request. For example, firstly you can able to log in with the help of username and password, and you can generate the token. After that, you are able to access this API, create API. But if you are not login with valid username and password, you are not even hit this method. So we are adding here breakpoint. So if you are not adding with the help of valid username or password, you are not able to add hit these method. So you can directly it can directly throw error from the program.cs. For example, if I not added here, so you can see here I'm not able to hit this method, any method here. So you can directly get the error here. For example, I can add a breakpoint here and I can run this. So I will try to get the add method. So you can see here, you can not able to hit this method. You can try it directly throw the error because this is our starting point of our program.cs or our .NET Core application. So here our build will be start. So here anything we are not passing, so it will not go here, directly throw the error from here. So same thing here, I can add a breakpoint here, but you are not able to hit the breakpoint. You can directly get the error here. What is the error? It will like enable to resolve the service, hyperject service, because we are not registered dependency injection here. So same error we can get in the. Is it clear? Anyone have any question? So in the next class, you can try to just review these things. What is a JWT token? Like you can take a little bit basic knowledge. You can take help from Google or ChatGPT, or you can just check the flow. So if you have these basic little bit idea, so you when we can implement these things practically, so it's a very good for you, or you can easily understand the things. But if you don't have any like little bit knowledge, so it's difficult to understand here. So our same thing, our token divided into three parts: header, payload, and signature. In the header, we can save algorithm, payload, claims, and signature means is it means it include header, payload, and secret key that we can add in the app setting. So in the app setting, we can add app setting dot json file API JWT configuration. We can add key, issuer, we can add key, secret key. So which algorithm we are, for example, we are using SH256, so it will be 256 bits or 32 bytes. It will be long, means you need to add in this key 32 words. If you are lesser than 32, so you are getting error here. Issuer means who will issue this token. For example, your backend API is your server. Audience means who will use, for example, your Angular app, your front-end app will use here. So here you can pass the audience. Expire minute means you can pass how many minute after your token will be expired. So these all the configuration we can add in our app setting, and this information also we can save inside the JWT token. So is it clear? Anyone have any doubt here? You can message me here. So firstly, try to these basic things and take help from Google or ChatGPT. Is it clear? You can message me yes on. Anyone have any doubt here? Okay. Okay, so this is done for today class. In the next class, we can try to implement these things practically here. So this is done for today class. And if you have any question, you can message me here or in a LinkedIn or in a WhatsApp. So I already share my WhatsApp number. So you can message me there. Okay. Okay, thank you. If you want to continue this, so you can like, share, and subscribe this video. It's really motivates me to make the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.